and I've created a little presentation on that. So I'll be working with my slide. Can you see my screen? As soon as you see my screen, please let me know.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we'll be learning functions in C programming. And first of all, what is functions? What does function mean? Okay, so functions are a block of codes that perform a specific task and can be called from stages of functions. They are reusable. You can use them in different programs. Okay, so they say my presentation says they allow developers to organize their code into reusable modules and can greatly simplify the development process. Let's assume you want to make, okay, I like to look at functions like a recipe, okay? Like your recipe. Let's assume you want to make donuts, you want to make meat pie, and you want to make puff, right? And then would you rather make your different dough, like mix your dough differently, or you just do a large amount of dough that you can use for both your meat pie, for your puff, and also use it for your what's the third one I mentioned? So basically, I like to see functions as recipe. So function to a programmer is what a recipe is to a chef. Okay? All right. So let's assume you have a party as a chef and you want to prepare okra soup. You want people to have okra soup with apple. You want people to have okra soup with amala. And you want people to have okra soup with eba. Would you make the okra soup different for those different meals you want to eat? Or you just make a large bowl of okra soup that you can use to eat your ogbono. You can use to eat your apple, amala, everything. So that is what function is like for a programmer. Once you've been able to create your function, you can use it in different programs. I don't know if this is clear. Are you with me? Hello? Is anybody home?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so here's the syntax for creating a function. When you want to create a function, the first thing you want to put that my supposed to be, right? So let's assume I mixed my dough and my return type is donuts, right? So my return type would come first, which is either your int, your float, your double, your char, whatever it is, right? It will be the first thing to come. And then the function name, okay? The next thing is your function name. So you give it a name. It's always advisable for you to give it a name that describes what the function does. Okay? And then your perimeter is seen like your ingredients. Okay? Your perimeter is like your ingredients. So wherever you're calling your function, you have to be aware that you must impute the input you would have to add to your function. The number of perimeter that you have in your is the same number of perimeter you would have when, okay, now the thing that the function is doing, okay, let's read what is here. The return type specifies the data type of the value that the function returns, okay. If my function is returning an integer, my return type will be int. If my function is returning a character, it will be char, like that. Then okay, it says which can be any valid C data type, which includes int, float, char, and void. Now, void is in the situation where your function is not returning anything. Then you use the return type void. Okay? Then the function name. Sorry, I skipped. Then the function name is the name that you have given to the function. Like I said, try to make sure that your function name is describing what your function does. Then the perimeter list. It's usually separated by comma. So if I have 4 perimeters, I would separate them by comma. Okay? If I have 2 perimeters, I will separate them by comma. If I have a single one, there will be no need to use the comma. Okay, so I use it to the you can see it there. I'm saying I'm creating another variable which is it's that past A and B should be added. That's A plus B. And then I want my function to return the sum. That's what to wherever it is being called. Okay. Now, some functions do not have a return type because you don't intend to return anything. And some functions also do not have perimeter. So the brackets can be empty. Okay? In such case, let's say, for example, I want to write a function that greets or that says hello to the user, right? So I don't need the person to put anything. I can just put greet as the function name. I'll put void because, of course, if it doesn't have a return type, it is automatically void. So it must start with void. So I put void at the beginning. And then I write greet. I open my bracket, and there'll be nothing in my bracket. That function can take. So insert hello user, but then in a particular user using his name, right? And it my require for then
Hi, Blessing. Excuse me, please.
it will not be without returning any type or a perimeter. Oh, I'm breaking up, right?
Yeah, we can't even hear what you're saying, and we cannot see your screen.
Oh no, I think it's the network.
Yeah, it's the
getting
network.
crazy.
Yeah,
Getting
please.
crazy over here.
We lost you like 2-3 minutes ago.
Wow, and I've been screaming.
Yeah, I've been trying to call your attention, but you couldn't hear me.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Please let me know the slide. I will go back. Let me know the slide where. Was it here?
Please, if you know where you missed her, help her.
Okay. Please, if you know where exactly you missed me, just let me know which of the slides.
I think it was from when you started explaining. I think when you started coding, I think that was where we got.
Where I started?
From.
Where I started what?
The example.
Okay.
The example.
One,
the example.
Right? This one?
Yeah. Yes, that side.
Okay. So now this is an example of a C function, right? And this is what it does. First of all, it returns an integer from the function perimeter. You can tell what it's supposed to do, right? First of all, it's supposed to return an integer, right? And then it's supposed to take 2 arguments or 2 parameters, which A and B, and they're supposed to be both integers. So when you then you have to put what kind of, but the number of arguments you're putting in your function is the same number of arguments you would use when you're calling the function in your main program. Okay, so basically we have the return type as int, we have the name, the function name as add, and then we have the parameters or the arguments, which are int A and int B. Then we have the function body. The body of this function is carrying the main code, what we are trying to do with the function, which is finding the sum. So this function is used to find the sum, and then it would return the result or the answer, which has been put in the variable sum. It will return it to wherever it has been called. So if I call it in my main function, it should be able to return the value to my main function. I don't know if this is clear. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next. Now, the whole essence of calling a function, of creating a function, is because you want to use it in, or you would use it in your program, right? So that is called, that's what when we say calling a function, that is what we're trying to say. When I call a function, it means I'm using it in my main program, okay? So it can be called in any part of the program. You can call it, you can use that function, you can call it into your program, okay? And you must impute the necessary parameters. You must impute the number of parameters that, both the number and the type of parameter that you intend to use, okay? Just as it was stated in the function, okay? Now, let's look at this, for example. this is a main function. In this main function, the variables x and y are integers, and they have value 3 and 4 saved in them, right? Now, remember we said when you're calling that add function we did previously, right? When you're calling it, you have to make sure that the variable type or the argument type is the same thing as the argument you can see in that. Let's go back and take a look at it. You can see we have two arguments, int A and int B, right? So when you're calling it, you must make sure, first of all, that it's the same type. You can see x and y are both integers, right? So which means it corresponds. And then there are two arguments. So you must pass the two arguments just as is required from the function. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. To the function add. Now, the next thing is for us to print. The next thing is for us to print. You can see that whenever we call this function, what it does is it goes back to check into the function and okay, what is this x and y function, which is the main code, right? It will run the body of the let's go back. It will run the body of this code, and then it will return the sum. Now, whatever the value of this sum is, it would now be saved into the variable we have called here. And we call the variable, we declare the variable z, right? So the answer or the value of sum is now saved into z, right? So when we print, anytime we print z, it will be the value that has been gotten from this function, which is the return value, okay? Now, let's look here. It said print f, the sum of %d, which is x, and %d, which is y, is %d, which is z. So the answer would now be whatever we have gotten, which is the return value from our function. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, now let's see how well we have understood what we've done now. So I'm going to ask you some questions. We are going to have a quick quiz. Okay? Okay, everybody. The first question is,
Okay.
what is a function in programming? What is a function in programming? Who can give us the answer? We have options here.
Option B.
Option B. Okay, it's a set of instructions that perform a specific task. That's lovely. That tells that you're following. Okay, let's go to the next. Okay, who's going to answer question 2? Can I pick people to do this? Abdul Lamid Sanisu, can you help us? Okay, we have somebody putting up her hands. Please go ahead.
It's option B for number 2.
Okay, beautiful. It's option B because your return type, yes, your function name, then parameters. Beautiful. Well done. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, we have question 3. Yes, John Ezekiel. Oh, he's just joining us. I thought he was putting up his hands. Do we have any other person who wants to give it a go? Okay, yes, Sanusi, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's option B.
Okay, beautiful. How come I didn't take note. I was just putting all the answers in there. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay. Hey, who's going to try the last one? Chima. Chike is supposed to the last one. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now?
I think it's option
I went
A.
off for a bit. Okay, beautiful. Option A. Well done. Well done. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Now we're going to be practicing. We're going to be creating functions. And so we'll do this together, okay? Let me share my screen. That's my C compiler. Okay, so I'll share the questions we'll be working with. I'll share them on the comments box. I'm going to copy and paste. Just give me a minute. Okay. Can you see my questions? First one. It says, write a function that takes a string as input and returns the length of the string. So what we're doing is, first of all, we're going to be writing a function, and our function is supposed to take a string and then return my. Man, I need water, please. I need water. Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, so let's get to write a function that takes a string, and then let me copy and paste it here. goodness, my sense.
Hello, everybody. Is it just me or I cannot hear Blessing anymore? Is Blessing there?
She's off.
Ah, this is a very big problem.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay,
I can
sorry, my
hear
network
you.
has been acting up. And yes, I had to quickly switch to a different. Okay. Okay, so we're going to write a function that takes a string as input, and then after taking the input, the next thing we're going to do is to coming. Return the length.
Okay.
So first of all, it has told us what we are So we're going to be returning the length of the string. And that automatically tells us that we're returning. Hello, can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can't hear you, Blessing, please. We can't hear you.
Okay. I believe we might need to reschedule this class because I feel it is not enough.
Is it the network? Is it the rain that is disturbing?
Yeah, it's the rain. It's the rain. It's really, really bad. Even on my own end, I'm just managing. She has left the meeting. Okay, let me just address her so that if she comes back, we could see how we are going to reschedule maybe to tomorrow. She can still take us tomorrow, if possible. But then that will be a delay on our own end. Okay, so how far has it gone? Where are you people now? Because I was not really paying attention. Ezebon, please speak. Where are you people now in functions? Ezebon? Okay, if I can't get to Ezebon, Fola Kemi, I want to hear from you. Fola?
Yes. Sorry. What did you say?
Okay, I was asking, how far have you people gone in the function today?
Oh, okay. We're actually on pointers right now.
No, I'm not asking about ALX. I mean what we are doing here today.
Oh, okay.
Started...
Yes, she was asking. She wanted to take us on some examples. She wanted us to solve some tasks actually.
Okay, so she has showed you people how to define a function, how to declare a function, and how to call a function.
Yes.
Okay, it was to apply them in concepts.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay, unfortunately, the network is really bad, and I wouldn't want to start the... Okay, just hang on. Let me reach out to her and see if she's still available, or I could just brush us through, and then tomorrow we try something. Okay, she's trying to call me. So just give me a minute, please.
Okay.
Okay, hi everybody. I've communicated to her, and she said the network is really bad. As a matter of fact, she can hardly hear me while I was talking. So I will just take us through a conclusion on this, and then we'll reschedule if the need be, or we move on to the next concept. I hope we can hear me. Okay, I think I'll be having somebody to... Okay, very good. Okay, so I will just share my screen and we just go over a few things and... no, nothing. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen now. So, Fola, if you see my screen, you let me know.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, very good. So, what am I doing now? Okay. I think I've done this already. Okay. Let's see. It's fixed. Okay. So, I'm going to teach us from our repository. So I'll just go over to our repository. And I want to tell us that the video for today, I'm not sure is going to be available because the session has not been a successful one, except our media persons are going to cut off the part that we were not really able to capture. But then I feel we are going to maybe rush through this particular concept the next time we have a session before we move into the main thing. But nevertheless, let's just go into what a function is. So I heard when she was explaining that a function is a block of code that performs a specific task, as you can see here. Let me zoom in. Okay, so for Lakemi, if you can see my screen very well, you tell me.
Can you please zoom a little? They're not really legible.
I believe it's clear now.
A
Should be
bit,
clear.
please.
Okay, this is the biggest I can go for now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So a function is a block of code that performs a specific task. Let's say, for example, okay, I gave you the example here that you need to create a program to open your folder, delete the files inside of the folder. Now you could create 3 functions: a function to create the folder, a function to open the folder, and then a function to delete the files. Okay, that's basically what functions are. Functions are just you breaking down your codes into smaller pieces so that you could reuse them. That is one of the main advantages of a function, so that you could reuse them whenever they need be. Okay, so let me just show us a few examples while I'm explaining. So let's go over the advantages why we should use functions. Now with functions, we won't have to write the same code or logic over and over again. Let's say I want to write a program that is going to open let's say I have 100 folders on my system, and I want to create a program that could open those folders. Now, if you're writing it in a straightforward way, I'm going to write it a very long way that it will open the first one, and then I write the next program that is going to open the second one. Like that will keep going over and over again. But with functions, I could just put all those code inside of a function, and then all I need to do is to call the function again, and it will do the work instead of me having to write the whole code again. So let's take, for example, now let's say the example I gave last time was, let's say we want to sing a happy birthday song for somebody. Let's say today is Ezebong's birthday, right? And I want to sing happy birthday song for him. But how are we going to do that? Of course, we are going to print it, right? We'll go over happy birthday to you, birthday to you. And then, of course, we are going to sing this line like, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last one, we could. So we'll release the verse 1, and maybe we need to sing it like 3 times or so. So you write this, and then you go over it again, and then you go over it again. I'm supposed to have new line characters in between each of these. Whoa. This is really stressful now. So just to show us how functions really work, so we could appreciate them. So let's go here. Functions. I think I'll just end it there. Let me just finish it since I've started already.
David,
Okay.
You wrote print instead of printf.
Oh, Jesus. This is me writing in Python now. It's been a while I wrote in C.
And then your semicolon.
Oh, God. See? I don't even appreciate C anymore because I feel C a lot more stress. But C is very simple because it's not really big as other OOP languages. So I'll just go over these. I'll just go here. Okay, so this is our happy birthday song, and you see, I should have had maybe 2 lines here. Don't worry, we'll see how functions are really, really interesting. So I'll run the program again. So this is our happy birthday song. Now you could see that it took me time to sit down and write a whole of this. So what if I have to sing this maybe 6 more times? So I have to copy this code, paste, maybe I'll have to write them again like this 3 times. Is that 18 times of this? You know how tedious that can be. So what you could do to break down this code into smaller pieces so that it will be more eligible is I will cut all of this and then put it in a function. Okay, so let's say, just for the sake of an example, of course our function should have a return type. I heard when she was explaining that, a return type. Now this is how you define a function. Return type, and then our function will have a function name, and then we have our parentheses, and then we could have our parameters, but then I'm not going over that first. Then we have our semicolon. Okay. Now this is how you declare a function. I will differentiate declaration and definition for us. Now, when you declare a function, declaration is not going to have a body. It's just going to have a name and maybe the argument or your parameters and the semicolon. That is what it means to declare a function. It's not going to have a body. It's just going to have the return type, the name, your parentheses and whatever goes inside of there, and the semicolon. Now, the essence of declaring a function is that so that maybe I don't know what I want to use this function for yet, but I want it to be in my program. Maybe later on I'm going to use it, but then I might forget about it. Okay, so I could declare my function here, and then outside of my program, maybe in the downside here, I could then define it. Now, definition is giving your function a body. Now, you will tell your function what it should do when it is called upon. Okay, that's the difference between a declaration and a function. So, but you could also declare and define your function at once, which is what I'm going to do now for the sake of time. So, I will clear this. Now, a return type, or as we already know, a return type could be of int, character, float, or double. And it could also have void. Void meaning that it's not going to return anything. Okay, so in this case, my function is not going to return anything. If you don't understand return statements, you could ask me after now so I could explain it in this particular session for us. So this is my return type and this is my function name. Okay, I will name it happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Now, and then I'm going to give, let me go back to my material so that I will not be teaching you it blankly. Now, just types of function. Now we have library functions. What are library functions? Library functions are functions that are already, that are inbuilt of our C programs. Okay, now you remember printf. Printf is a function. Scanf is a function. If else is a function. All those things you use on regular basis, for loops, they're all functions. Now, how do they work that when you call on them, they just give you what they're supposed to do? It is because they've been defined inside of a header file. Okay. Now, for the printf and the scanf, they have been defined inside of this stdio.h, standard input output. They've been defined inside of here. That's why you could easily call on them and then they'll work. Now, you too could also define your own function, which is what we have here, user defined function. That is what we're doing right now, to define your own function. Now, just like this header file here, I could have my own header file. Then I define my functions inside of that header file, and then I include them in my program. In that case, I will not need to define my functions anyway again in my program. All I need to do is to call on them, and it will work as far as I include it as a header file. Okay, so that is how it works. Function could be very interesting. Now, as I explained earlier, there are three things to consider when creating a function, which is function declaration. A function must be declared globally in a C program to tell the compiler about the function name, the parameters, and the return type, which is what I explained for us. Okay, so that is, now when they say globally means you should define it outside of your main program. Okay, so that you'll be able to use it in all of your functions. I believe I have not explained to us variable, what is that called again? Something variable, I've forgotten what it is called. But we were supposed to do that before we enter into functions. Sorry?
Global and local variable. I think global variable and local variable.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Global, but there's a name for it, not just that. There's a name you call both of them. So we were supposed to do that.
Variable scope.
Exactly. Variable scope. We're supposed to do that before we do functions, but all the same, we'll still understand it. So global variables are variables you declare outside of your main program so that you'll be able to use it in any of the functions you want to write. While local variable are variable you have inside of your function. Okay? That's the difference. You could go into our repository and read about it. You'll see it there. Now, a function call, we'll do a function call after now. Now, let's go to function definition. Now, a function definition contains the body of the function. That's the only difference between definition and declaration. So let's go over it. So I've given my function a name and a return type and then the parentheses. So what's next? I'll open my parentheses, and whatever goes inside of this parentheses, as we know in a function, is what is going to be executed. Okay? So I'll just paste this. I could cut out this because we don't need them. So this is my function right now. Okay, let me go back to there so we could see. You see this? This is my function. And now I'm just using this as an example. You could do whatever you want to do inside of this place. So I've created my function, and now I will go inside of my program. And now if I want to call on the function, all I need to do is just to write the function name, which in this case is happy birthday, with a parenthesis and a semicolon. And then when I run this program, you see we have our happy birthday song. So if I'm to sing this maybe a couple of times, I could just call it 3 times. And then we have our happy birthday song in 3 verses, instead of having to write this over and over again, which is very hectic. So that is how function works. Now, let me explain the difference between a parameter and argument. Now, parameters are what you pass into your parentheses here when you are defining your function or declaring your function, while arguments are what you pass inside of your function when you call them. Okay, now, arguments and parameters must be of the same type. For example, so let me clear this again. Let's say I want to write a program that takes in, that adds 2 numbers together, right? So let's say here I'm going to have int num and then int num2, something like that. And then inside of this place, I'm going to have int sum, which is going to hold the sum of, which is going to hold num plus num2, right? And then let's say I'll print it out, print f. The sum is modulo d. And then we have sum. Right? Now, if I'm going to call my function here, let me clear this. Now, whatever type I gave here, it should be the same type I pass as an argument here, which means since it is of int, I cannot pass a character instead of here. It will give me to raise an error. So it must be of int type. If I pass a double, it's not going to give me the required result. If I pass a float, still the same thing. It's not going to give me a required result. So it must be of the same type. And also, we have 2 parameters here. So whenever you're giving it your argument, it should be of the same amount. So if it is 2 here, it should be. If it is 2 here, it should be 2 here too. If not, you will have an error. If it is 3, you should have 3 arguments here. So now it could be of double here and of int here. It could be of any types. And then when you're passing it here, it should be in accordance with that. And it's going to work. So if I call on this function and you see the sum is 15, the sum of 7 and 8 is 15. Now you could call your function as many times as possible with different values, and you will not have issues with it. So I'll just give it another one here and say 3. Then I run the program. See, the sum is, let me add a new line here. See, the sum is 15, the sum is 8 because of this and this. So that's basically how functions work. You see how easy it is. Now I'm just using this as an example. There are more things you could do with it. You could decide to write a whole program instead of a function and call it over and over again. Like today I was trying to build, what's the name of that game? A tic-tac-toe game. Okay, now it has so many functions because you need to create a function for the player 1, player 2, and as many things as the players are going to do, you are going to define different functions for them. So that is basically what functions are. So I hope we get a grasp of what functions is now. Right, so I'll leave the room now for questions. Do we have any questions? Oh, Blessing is back because I didn't even know. Any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay, John Ezekiel, okay, please ask your question. All right, 7:30. John Ezekiel, you have a question? Okay, your mic might be mute, so check to be sure you click on this to unmute it. Okay, I can't get to you. Okay, I believe we don't have, that means everybody's good. We don't have any questions. And Blessing was, okay, someone else have a question. Hey, mine, please ask your question. Hey, mine, please ask your question. I hope I pronounce your name very well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'm so sorry because firstly I came late, but I'm asking if you are recording just because there are many tools, so I don't know exactly what's going on. Are you recording it?
Okay, yeah, we are, yes, we are recording the session.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so okay, no problem. So our lessons are also available here. You could always access them. You fork the repository, you clone it, and attempt the task too. So Blessing was already here because I didn't know I could have even had the chance to complete her session, but I think is late already. We are going to reschedule this particular session because functions is wide. Okay, it's not be nice that we just rush through it like this. Function is very wide. So we'll reschedule and have another time for it. And of course, we'll have Blessing again to come break down the concept to us and solve other tasks so that we'll really understand the concept. So please, Blessing, I will give the chance to you so that you could give a conclusion on them. I hope.
Okay, thank you so much, David. I came in and I saw you were handling the class and you were doing like amazing. So I didn't want to cut the session. By the way, I didn't even know if my internet was going to stay stable, but it has tried so far. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to add. I had some questions that I wanted us to practice, and then I wanted to throw some questions.
Wow, we can't hear you anymore, Blessing. Okay, Blessing, we can't hear you anymore.
Unfortunately, hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so sorry. My internet is not being friendly. So anyways, I'll be sharing my PowerPoint on the group so that we can still go back to the concepts and read through. And I really hope we'll get the chance to come back and still revisit some of the questions together.
Okay.
So thank you so much, guys, for.
Okay, we could hardly hear you, but we heard you to the end. So, Blessings, personally, I want to appreciate you for outside your busy schedule and the whole technical issue. Wow. Okay, thank you. Are you still there? Okay. Okay, Blessing. I want to appreciate you first of all for being around. Instead of all these issues, you still made that time and you came back for us. That shows that you have us at heart. So please, as she has said, she's going to share the PowerPoint and also we'll reschedule this particular session. So that
I can hear you.
Okay. We'll reschedule this particular session so that we could really clarify ourselves on functions because function is very wide. Basically, everything you're going to do on let's say in programming, whenever you want to write a very big program, you are going to make use of functions because you can't just sit down and start writing a whole program from beginning to end. You need to use functions so that you could retrace your program, and if you make mistakes, you could easily catch up on your mistakes and correct them. So I want to thank everybody for being out. I don't know if I should give us tags on functions, but I think I should do that. So please, you will go to our repository. For those of us who are just joining us for the first time, I usually drop the link in the group. I might do that again. So you when you click on the link, it will bring you to this interface. You just go ahead and clone the repository. Sorry, not clone. First of all, you fork the repository by clicking on this icon here. It will take you to the next screen. Don't rename it. Just scroll down and then you'll see fork repository. Okay, then then you clone that particular one that is in your own profile. Okay? Now you click on this and copy the URL from there, and then you write git. We already know how to clone, I believe. You just go ahead and clone this. If you don't know how to clone, you tell me. I have a video now that shows how to clone a repository, and I'll send you the link to that particular video. And after you clone the repository, I think I should make a video on how we could do all these things at once so that we could keep it as reference. So you seed into the repository, into the task, and attempt some of the tags here. I think we've done from tags 1 to 6 or 7 or so. So look out for 8 through 11 or 12. They should be. Okay, I think I lost us for a while there. So please, if you have any questions, just inbox me on WhatsApp, please, and I'll attend to you, or just tag me or any of your seniors in the group, and we'll attend to you. Okay, Ezebon, please ask your question. This should be the last question. Ezebon, ask your question, please.
Please, the question I'm asking is not concerning what we are doing today, but it's about my on ALX. I know we created a token in our GitHub account.
Okay.
But right now, I'm trying to push in the token, but I don't really know if I should push it in the ALX low-level programming because it's not working.
You want to do
I
what?
want to push. Like I created a token. The token I created earlier before has expired. So I created another one to push it. I tried to push it. It's showing me it's not cloning to it. Like I wanted to clone that token, the token.
Okay, maybe while creating your token, you do not give permissions to everything. So be sure you give the permission. You could go back and create another one and make sure you tick all the boxes there.
Okay. Maybe that's one of the reasons.
Okay, while doing it, you can inbox me or any of your seniors and we'll assist you in doing that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Okay, I made a post back then that if you have a request on something, you could just tell me, and then I will make a video on that particular thing and give it to us so that we won't need to ask the same question over and over again. So if you have any of these kind of questions, always ask, okay?
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So we'll be ending our session here today, and we'll reschedule. Please, I will tell us the task to attend, but it should be 7, 8, 9. You could try 7, 8, 9, but I will still tell us in our various groups. So please attempt them. Okay, we'll end the session now because I'm not really comfortable with the session. We'll have to reschedule and start it all over again. So I appreciate everybody for coming, especially Blessing for taking out our time, even with the issues she had. She still took us on the session. And then I'm going to appreciate Justice Obasi for being around to take the record of the session. He's the one who is always making sure we have a record to be referenced to whenever we need it. Okay, Justice, please unmute your mic and say hi to the team. Justice, are you there? Okay, if you are there, we really appreciate you for being around. Okay, and we say God bless you too. And Blessing too, we really appreciate you. Please unmute your mic for the last time and say hi to the team.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And thanks for waiting up till now. I know the internet discouraged a lot of people, but the fact that you stayed to the very end, I really...
Thank you, Blessing. I really appreciate it. It's you. Thank you so much, Blessing.
Oh, God. Okay, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Justice. Amen, Choma, Ezebon, Folakemi, Oderati. I can't read everybody's name I'm seeing on the screen. So I thank everybody for coming out. You can unmute your mics now and say good night to your friends.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you.
So, go in